Some of you have expressed that you have been really challenged by things like creating hanging indents and page numbers and headers in MLA and APA format. So this very brief tutorial is going to walk you through the tools that are already built into Word to help you navigate setting up those things. So what you see on this second page is just a regular old references page. I don't want you to worry about the format and how stuff is set up in terms of dates and that kind of thing. I just took this from a former student's project just to show you how to navigate the formatting elements. So the thing that really kind of becomes frustrating when you're working in Word is that when you need to take these second lines or any line after the first line in a references list and move them over and you hit the space bar and nothing happens. There's a really simple way to make those adjustments in Word. And the first thing is that you go to your View tab and you ensure that your ruler is checked and see it immediately becomes visible. So I never work in a document without having my ruler up. It does a lot of things for me. But one of the biggest is that I can move different design elements and I can create new spacing. So in this scenario, I want to move this second line over in my references list. Notice the hourglass up here, and it actually separates out. If you choose the bottom, and that's our tab, so we're going to move that a little out of the way so I can just show you. Grab the bottom part and move it over 5 spaces or 1/2 inch, which you can see the 1/2 inch tick mark there in the ruler. And voila, it moves just the second line. No more fighting with the space bar. Everything will properly align for you, and you don't even have to highlight everything. You just have to highlight a part of the second line or third line. See, you have to be careful because Word will get frustrating. Just move the bottom portion of it. Oh, I don't know what just happened there. Then here, see we have 3 lines versus just 2. It'll move both of the second lines. This part of the hourglass keeps the top line flush left with the left margin, and the bottom moves the subsequent lines over to the right. So if you're using things like block quotes in a paper, these are also great tools to be using. And voila, there it is. Only takes a few seconds. And they're all done. Just use that ruler. I do it a lot. I rely on it, especially when I'm doing things like resumes where I might be doing a lot of hand formatting. You can click here, it'll show you so that I can make sure everything is lining up properly. Now, the second challenge people have been facing with format has included their headers in both MLA and APA format. Now, there are a variety of ways that you can do it. I'm going to show you what, in my experience, has been the simplest. So your paper should always be set to 1-inch margins all the way around. And the way to check it is to go to Page Layout and Margin and make sure it's set to normal 1 inch. And Word is set to set that up for you so that you don't have to worry about it and figuring out exactly what is 1 inch. But this becomes a challenge because I see students trying to put their headers at the top and they do all kinds of weird stuff and they try to hand code it in and it just becomes a mess and it doesn't conform to the standards of your documentation style that way. The easiest way to do this is to go to Insert, and although your natural inclination would be to choose Header, it becomes a lot more complicated when you use the Header feature. Choose Page Number. From the drop down, top of page, and in MLA you're required to have your page numbers flush right with your right margin. So if I choose plain number 3 where it's set up over to the right, what you'll see are 2 things. This becomes grayed out, the body of the paper, because now I'm working in a different design element. And now I have page 2 because it's the second page of the document. So I'm going to go in and type in my last name in space. And Word has already situated that header exactly on the physical page where it should be, which is 1/2 inch from the top. This way you don't have to try to guess in terms of sizing. The one thing that students fail to recognize is that when you create these headers, Word does not automatically convert to whatever font and size you use in the body of the paper. That is on you. So highlight it, come over to Home, choose Times New Roman and 12, that's what I used in my paper, and voila, it's done. So now when I go to the design over here, which is greened out, I can close it. See how that grays out in the background because I'm no longer in that design element, and now I'm back in the body of the paper. And Word will automatically generate my last name, space, and the page number in sequential order throughout the document without anything else once I've set it up the first time. Don't get weirded out that it looks grayed out. If you were to print this out, it would all be the same black ink. It's no grayscale. It's just the different design elements to show you what's active. We're actively in the body versus in the header. Now, if you're using APA format, it's a little more complicated. You want to go in, and the easiest way really is to go up here and double click and notice now I'm active in my header. I'm going to take this out because APA has different guidelines in terms of what goes in your header and how it should look. So I'm going to go back to Insert, and I'm going to start with page number, top of the page, over to the right, just like that. Because APA still requires that your page number is flush right with the rest of the margins in your paper. But it also says that you have to have, instead of your last name in a space like you see in MLA, that you have what's called a running head. And that is simply a very shortened version of your paper's title. Your paper title should be something a little more elaborate than research paper. It should be something to contextualize. But in your header for APA format, it should not be longer than 50 characters, including spaces. So I know that one of you is doing relationships in online dating. Notice I haven't put any spaces or anything in. Everything is still flush with that right margin. But APA requires that your running head, or this part, is actually flush with your left margin. In the simplest way, once you've set up that page number, just like I did in MLA, is to now tab. Use your tab key, and it will automatically take you, and look, it's flush left here, flush right with the 1-inch margin there. I'm going to highlight it because I need it to be Times New Roman to match my font in 12. But APA asks one more thing, and that's that your running head is in all capital letters. So rather than going in and retyping it, simply highlight it, go to Font, choose All Caps, OK, and it's done it for you. So if I go here and I close it out, that's what it will look like on the top of every one of my pages, and that's the APA format. It's very simple. Word is set up to have all these tools in there for you. Of course, it won't be called MLA header, but there's a header feature, there are the page number features, and hopefully what you can do using this tutorial is locate those elements yourselves and walk yourselves through how to set them up. Look at the tutorial, pay attention in Word to how it's all set up, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.